Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, family members, and those watching from home on Facebook Live, welcome to the graduation of the Army National Guard Non-Career Recruiting and Retention NCO course, Class 22-004. My name is Master Sergeant Joshua Fassett of the Strength Maintenance Training Battalion, and it is my pleasure to serve as your Master of Ceremonies. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing for the entrance of the official party, national anthem, and the invocation. The official party consists of Sergeant Major Thomas K. Farrar, Chief Instructor of the Strength Maintenance Training Battalion, Sergeant Major Brian K. Haig, 1st Corps Command Reserve Component Career Counselor, Class Advisor to 1st Platoon, Mr. Shannon Sims, 2nd Platoon, Sergeant 1st Class Andrew Hatfield, 3rd Platoon, Staff Sergeant Matthew Barnes, and 4th Platoon, Staff Sergeant Ryan Hazlett. Today's invocation will be given by Staff Sergeant Tyler K. Needham of the North Dakota Army National Guard.
Please bow with me in prayer. Father God, we come to you today thankful for the grace that you have shown to us throughout this course. We are thankful for getting us here and thankful for the blessings that are yet to come. We pray that you would help us to conduct ourselves with the utmost integrity as we strive to achieve our mission in our jobs, our mission to our families, our mission to the United States, and to our God. Be with us through this graduation ceremony, and may we honor you in it. In the name of Jesus I pray, amen.
Please be seated. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you today's guest speaker, Sergeant Major Brian Keith Haig, 1st Corps Command Reserve Component Career Counselor. Sergeant Major Brian Keith Haig serves as the United States Army's 1st Corps Reserve Component Command Career Counselor at Joint Base Lewis-McChord, Washington. Sergeant Major Haig entered the United States Army under the Delayed Entry Program in February of '86. He later attended and completed initial entry training to become a light-wheeled vehicle mechanic at Fort Dix, New Jersey. After this time with the regular Army, Sergeant Major Haig served as a recruiting and retention NCO with the Colorado Army National Guard. After a successful tour as an RRNCO, Sergeant Major Haig served in several strength maintenance positions, such as an instructor rider with the Strength Maintenance Training Center, senior instructor, Army National Guard TRADOC liaison, Quality Assurance Director, Senior Reserve Component Career Counselor, just to name a few. His military education includes all levels of non-commissioned officer professional military education to include the United States Army Sergeants Majors Academy. He also completed the Transition NCO course, Army National Guard Liaison NCO course, Quality Assurance Evaluators course, and Senior Training and Educator Managers course. His civilian education includes an associate's degree in applied science as well as a bachelor's degree in business management from Excelsior College. Please welcome Sergeant Major Brian K. Haig.
Thank you, Sergeant Fassett. As I was invited to come up and speak to you guys today, I thought about what I would want the person to say when I was sitting in your seats in 2004. So my speech goes like this. Good luck, you earned the badge, go out and do the job, right? Sorry, I can't end it right there, but I truly thought about that thought, right? And not knowing the unknowns, you hear so many negative connotations about recruiting and retention that it's one of the most important jobs in the military, but also it's the only job in the military that as soon as you receive institutional training, you're automatically put on mission, correct? You don't get no train up at CRCs, you don't get no battle drills, anything like that. You're expected to get trained, go out there, put people in the guard. And over the years, developing resiliency and the things that you're going to need to possess while you're out there doing the job, either as an R&R NCO or in life, I've really come to rely on two acronyms. And I always ask myself, am I ready? Ready's the first acronym. I've learned that I must be respectful. Be respectful, most importantly, to myself, right? We can be our own worst enemies, beat ourselves up. We let past mistakes and failures possibly hold us back from our true potential. No, be respectful to yourself, acknowledge that stuff, learn from your mistakes, learn from the challenges you face, and move on for it. But more importantly, once you start respecting yourself, you're going to start respecting others a lot more, and that's going to get you real far. E is be an expert. Be an expert at your craft. Whether you stay in recruiting and retention like I have, or whether you leave recruiting and retention, go back to your MOS or whatever the case might be an expert. What that means is you gotta take the initiative. You gotta study the regulations. You gotta know the policies as soon as they come out. You gotta do those types of things. The A is be an athlete. Now, as you can tell, I'm not no athlete. I'm not no Michael Phelps or anybody like that, but I have really dedicated myself to develop a lifestyle of fitness and nutrition, right? And whatever that looks like for yourself, you have to achieve that. And when you do that, our mandatory requirements like the ACFT and other things are going to be minimal because you've already developed that lifestyle of health and fitness. The D stands for discipline. This job is the closest job you'll ever see in the military ranks to being your own entrepreneur. You're going to go out there and you're going to be expected to develop your own school recruiting programs. You're going to be charged with developing your own recruiting events out there in your communities. You're going to be charged with going out and developing relationships that you may be totally uncomfortable. I'm an introvert by nature, but I challenged myself when I discovered that to make myself go out and do those things. So you must be disciplined in all aspects of your life. That's your military, personal, and your professional. And the why, it's up to you. Any failures or challenges you're facing, it's up to you to overcome those. Seek the mentorship, seek the coaching that you need out there. You have to seek them. They're not just going to fall on your lap. Sometimes they do. Sometimes mentors will seek you out. They see something in you and they'll seek you out. but most of the time you have to go seek them out. And when you take that initiative to do that, you're going to learn and grow beyond leaps and bounds. So that's the question you have to ask yourself is, are you ready? The next one you need to ask yourself is, do you take pride in what you do? Do you take pride in everything that you do? The P in pride stands for personal accountability and responsibility. You are charged at this point, once you pin that badge on your chest today, you're charged with enforcing every Army regulation and Army standard pertaining to recruiting and retention. That's whether it was covered in this course or not, but you're charged with that. So you must own that, and you must take personal accountability and responsibility for doing that. The great President Ronald Reagan said, "We must reject the idea that every time a law is broken, society is guilty rather than the lawbreaker. It is time to restore the American precept that each individual is accountable for his own actions." I think that's very important to understand. Readiness, right? Readiness starts here at PEC, but readiness starts with you. We are a soldier first. I know when we get into the grind of recruiting and retention, we have a tendency to forget stuff like 350-1 training, the mandatory soldier training and stuff, but you must develop a battle plan, a battle rhythm, work it into your schedule of where it fits to get all that stuff taken care of. You don't need your supervisor coming and telling you to get a PHA, to do your 350-1 training, or you got kicked off of the network because you didn't do cyber awareness, right? You didn't help us attack the cyber threat. John Kennedy once said, the time to repair the roof is when it's shining. You don't wait until something comes up or you're reactive. Be proactive. I is integrity. I'm telling you this, sergeants, the minute you start and begin to allow your integrity to be jeopardized, you've lost. It's such a slippery slope, very few can recover. Now, I'm a firm belief that it's never too late to redeem yourself. I truly am. But it may cost you a lot in your life, both professionally and personally. It's very, very important that the one thing you hold on to is integrity. D is development. Development. Right now, you've just completed your institutional requirements, but there are two very more important domains. The operational domain, which you're going to go out and do, and that's where you need to take the initiative, learn the regulations, learn everything there is, learn the little, lack of a better term, loopholes or niches that you can accelerate whatever you're doing, right? You guys are facing challenges that I never even thought I would face in recruiting now. With the things that have been put into place and stuff, I could have a guy on the floor tomorrow. The earliest you guys could do it is 3 or 4 days right now, right? And so you gotta develop that battle rhythm and learn how to be efficient in that process and get it done as quickly as possible. Then the most important one is professional development. I have always been, anybody that knows me knows I have never been a big, huge proponent of a college education. I was the first one to graduate high school in my family. I was the first one to get a degree, and I really resisted that, and I think that held me back in a lot of different ways. I didn't embrace that enough. My peers and others in my peer group got promoted faster than me. They got positions that I thought if I worked hard enough for, I would get those because of my work ethic and because of my accomplishments in my job. But I had to come to the realization that my education mattered, right? If not to me, for society and my acceptance in where I wanted to go and my final goals and what I wanted to do. So I had to embrace that and develop personally. I see my great friend Tim Harrison back there, retired Sergeant Major. We went through IHE together, Increasing Human Effectiveness, one of the courses we used to teach here at the SMTB. And one of our favorite sayings was, when you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot, right? The minute you think that you know everything or you've put every type of person in the guard, you're going to get slammed with a situation you don't know how to react to because you took that for granted. So stay green, stay hungry, stay accountable to yourself. Finally, the E is for empowerment. Empower yourself, right? I talked about beating ourselves up about our mistakes and our challenges and that we face and stuff like that. Empower yourself to succeed. Challenge yourself to succeed. But more importantly, the relationships and everything that you're establishing out there, everything you're trying to do, empower the people that you're in touch with, right? Empower your applicants. Instead of doing everything for them, empower them. Hey, you want this? Go out and do this. Empower them to complete the steps necessary to go out and do that. President Teddy Roosevelt said, the best executive is the one who has sense enough to pick good men to do what he wants done, and the self-restraint enough to keep from meddling with them while they do it. I think that has a lot of merit in what we do, how you conduct yourself, and really, if you're ready and you take pride, you're going to succeed as an R&R NCO and in life. This stuff actually has enhanced my marriage. Got a beautiful wife I've been married to, been with her now 38 years. This stuff, what you're stepping into, breaking out of your comfort zone in the areas that you know you're going to challenge. You just got to be brave enough to challenge yourself, surprise yourself, and you'll do amazing things out there. I really appreciate the time. I really appreciate the invite, Sergeant Major Ferrara. The team here, Miss Deb, one of my awesome mentors as well. I was so happy to see you come in the room. I really appreciate that. And just go out there and do good things, right? You are the face of the Army National Guard, right? And I do want to touch on one other thing, because I think it's a stigma that needs to be addressed in recruiting and retention, specifically in the Army National Guard. I guarantee you that you're going to get back to your state. At some point, they're going to say, man, why are you working so hard? There ain't no upward mobility here. There ain't no, you're not going to get higher than where you are now. Why are you doing that? I'm telling you right now that is a self-imposed limitation that person has put in theirself and they're trying to project onto you. I seen that in my state. I got those words in my state. And so I took a chance, right? I was comfortable in Colorado. I liked Colorado. All of my family was there. That was my comfort zone. But I was at a place with my family. They were old enough, mature enough, that type of thing, that I was able to embrace the fact that I would have to, PCS every 3 or 4 years. And I joined the Title X program. And I share this story many times with people that I come into contact with, is the 3+ years I spent here as a instructor and a senior instructor here at the SMTB is the most professional development and personal growth that I ever had. I got to go to 39 different states and train soldiers and analyze and look at and help and assist with their recruiting efforts in those states, see what worked, what didn't. It was amazing. And then I got to go be a liaison. And there I got to see the efforts that I took and how hard it was for me to put an individual into the Guard. I seen how easy it was to end that effort. I mean, the active component and the drill sergeants, they just got a different type of mission. They don't care whether that person's there or not, even though it's filled a vacancy in a unit for the National Guard for almost a year, right? Sometimes if they're on the split training option or something like that, that individual has filled a vacancy in a National Guard unit for almost a year. So got to work those issues and save soldiers from attriting at training. So, and then now I'm a reserve component career counselor. Now I talk to all the guys that made the wrong choice in the beginning to making the right choice now into the reserve component, right? And I do that by coaching, mentoring, counseling individuals on what is available. And it's hard to break that stigma of, the Army's 24/7 and they call you Friday night to report Saturday morning somewhere. That's a tough job to overcome those things that they've lived for the last 3, 4, 8 years. And so the moral of that point is, don't let yourself be sold a bill of goods, right, for upward mobility and what you can actually do. If it ain't for recruiting, retention, and attrition efforts, it would be hard, as evident right now in this time period that we're talking, it would be hard for the Army to maintain its mission. So that's how important what you're going out there to do, what you're going out there to be, and who you represent is you're one of the most important cogs in the entire will of our country's freedom and defense. And so I thank you for your time. It was a blessing for me to be up here, and hopefully I spoke some words of wisdom to you, and it sinks in, if nothing else, for your own personal life, because the numbers don't lie. A lot of you guys ain't even going to be here next year in recruiting and retention. We can accept that. But I think if I had different coaches and mentors and people speaking words of encouragement and wisdom into my mind, I think more of my peers and subordinates would have been here as well. So let's go out there, let's coach, mentor, train, and develop, right? Our jobs as NCOs don't change. The mission's a little different. But if you continue to coach, mentor, counsel, and train, you're going to be successful wherever you go. And that's equally important here in recruiting and retention. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and congratulations.
Sergeant Major, thank you for those inspiring words. Now a short video from family and friends of our graduating students.
Congratulations, Sergeant Matute.
It's time for you to come back home.
Yay! Yo, big shout out to my brother, Sergeant LA. Congratulations on SQI4. You know, I had to take a break from my comedy tour just to say congratulations. And before I go, I said, ooh.
Congratulations, Staff Sergeant Barry. We love you.
Congratulations, Andrea Rayburn. We're so proud of you.
Congratulations, Miha. I am so proud of you.
Congratulations, Kat. You made it through SQI4. Knew you could do it. I am so proud of you. Keep up the great work, and you're gonna kill it when you get back home.
Congratulations, William. I'm so proud of you. I love you, and I can't wait to see you at home soon.
Congratulations, Sergeant Nunez. I am so proud of you. I love you, and I cannot wait for you to come back for a wedding day.
Congratulations, Sergeant Remick, for graduating 22-002 SQI4 class this Friday. Can't wait to get you back.
Congratulations, Eva, for graduating RRNCO. We miss you, we love you, and can't wait till you come back home.
Hi, Catherine. I just want to let you know how proud I am. You have made me a very proud Army mom. Congratulations on your graduation. I wish I was there. I can't wait to see you. I love you.
Congratulations, Peyton. I'm so proud of you and everything you've done throughout your military career. I can't wait to see where else you go. I'm so proud of you.
Congratulations, Sergeant Lamorin. We're proud of you, we love you, and happy Father's Day.
Felicitaciones por sus logros y éxitos, Sargento Matute. Te queremos.
Letty and I are so proud of you, Sissy. Can't wait for you to be home.
Congratulations, Peyton.
We love you.
Can't wait to see you.
See you soon.
We're proud of you.
Congrats, Daddy. Love you. Congratulations, Staff Sergeant Needham. We love you. I love you.
Congratulations and see you soon.
We love you. See you soon.
Congratulations, Jordan, for graduating with my dad. Have a good day.
Congrats, Jordan.
Felicidades, Sargento Matute. Estamos orgullosos de ti. Te amamos.
Congratulations. Good job. Good job. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Well done, Daddy. I love you.
Hey, honey. I wish I could be there to see you graduate in person, but I'm so incredibly proud of you and all of the hard work that you've put in. Congratulations. We can't wait to have you home.
Hey, Mama. We love you and we miss you. And congratulations, and we love you and we miss you.
Hey, Mama. Congratulations. We love you and we miss you. And when you come back, we hope that we can do some fun stuff. And congratulations. Love you.
At this time, each class advisor will address their platoon for the last time. The awarding of the diplomas will follow. Please hold your applause until all students have received their diplomas. The class advisor for 1st Platoon is Mr. Shannon Sims.
Morning, 1st Platoon. Got a few things I want to share real quick. So, first off, I want to give a big shout out to our class advisor, Sergeant First Class Harriger, in his absence. So, here we are. Since day one, we talked about winning. It truly has been a journey for us. We overcame everything that came our way. Through it all, we stood together as one platoon, and we kept it moving forward. We also had some good times, some great laughs. Like every time Sergeant Harriger told you guys to just shut up. The first time when Sergeant Barry told us he got hit by a Prius. Now that was funny. Every time Boswell would say, like a snake. And the running joke, Dougie Fresh trying to teach us how to Douglas, right? Or that Monday morning when all you guys came back to class with sunburns. I'll never forget that one. And lastly, SQ, sounding like Jesse from Fast and Furious. Oh, God. We've had some good times. But on a serious note, when Jamie Foxx was getting ready to play the role of Ray Charles. Ray told him, he said, "Look, son, life is taking time to hit the right notes. In SQI4, we have taught you the basic notes. We have given you the sheets of music. Now it's time for you to go out there and play the music as an R&R NCO. You may not hit all the right notes, but keep playing the music until you hit the right notes. Remember the 3 tenets, and I want you to stand firm, press in, and lean forward. You got this, and at the end of the day, you will win." In remembrance of our brother, the loss of Sergeant Dale said, and his family, we're going to offer up the 2 claps. 2 claps. Woo! 2 claps. Woo! God bless you. 1st Platoon, and we thank God for the opportunity that we had to spend the time with Sergeant Dale said, and we pray that his family is doing well. Prepare. Graduate.
Sergeant Amia Adkins. Staff Sergeant Justin Anderson. Staff Sergeant Dion Andrews. Sergeant Frank Bagwell. Specialist Jacob Ballinger. Staff Sergeant Donald Barefoot. Staff Sergeant Thomas Beatty. Staff Sergeant Justin Berry. Staff Sergeant Brett Boswell. Corporal Nicholas Bouvier. Sergeant Dominic Colon. Sergeant Patrick Burt. Staff Sergeant Alexia Cade. Sergeant Edgar Chides. Specialist Alexandria Cochran. Sergeant William Conley. Sergeant Keegan Crooks. Staff Sergeant Benjamin Crutchfield. Specialist Peyton Douglas. Sergeant Colton Eskew. The platoon sergeant for 1st Platoon, Staff Sergeant Garrett Butterfield, California Army National Guard. Staff Sergeant Butterfield will also receive a certificate of excellence for his dedicated work as platoon sergeant for 1st Platoon. The class advisor for 2nd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Andrew Hatfield.
All right, marks complete. Hey, 2nd Platoon, it's been a fun 5 weeks. Really enjoyed having you on here. You're one of my favorite classes I've had. Learned a lot from you, and I've enjoyed watching you grow over the past 5 weeks. So on behalf of myself, Ms. Cronk, and Mr. Dacus, and Sergeant Garris for filling in that first week when the COVID got me, we really enjoyed you all. I want to share some words of wisdom that my instructor said to me almost a decade ago when I was sitting in your seats. And he said that you are the future of the Army National Guard. I didn't really know what he meant when he said that. But not only are you all going to develop this organization and provide the lifeblood that we need to keep going, you all are also the future of the recruiting battalions. There's Sergeant Major sitting here amongst you, MEPS guidance counselors, officers. It's up to you all to carry on the torch after we put it down. My time's come and gone, so you all got to carry that torch on and be proud of what you do. Because without you, our units wouldn't be full. We wouldn't be able to accomplish the missions we need to accomplish in the Army National Guard. Okay? And never lose sight of your why. Your why is the most important thing. We've talked about that a lot over the past 5 weeks, haven't we? But why, right? Why are you here today? Why is it important for you to be here? Is it for those beautiful little children I seen on the screen? Don't ever forget about your why. When recruiting gets hard, because it's going to weigh on you. Don't forget about your why. You always pull on your why and your value, and that'll help you get through this, okay? So without further ado, let's go on. Prepare to graduate.
Sergeant Rudy Espinoza. Sergeant Eric Farias. Sergeant Jacqueline Froenick. Sergeant Jose Gonzalez. Staff Sergeant Jeremiah Hartwell. Sergeant Dustin Henderson. Sergeant Jordan Hicks. Staff Sergeant Paul Hill. Sergeant First Class Michael Hoffman. Staff Sergeant Jamisha Lynn Iglesias. Sergeant Chance Jeffress. Sergeant Catherine Jimenez. Sergeant Miguel Johnson. Staff Sergeant Robert Johnson. Staff Sergeant LaShawn Jones. Sergeant Brian Carnes. Sergeant Micah Kimball. Sergeant Jordan LaFleur. Sergeant Paul Lavorin. The platoon sergeant for 2nd Platoon, Sergeant First Class Brian Haberty, North Carolina Army National Guard. Sergeant Haberty will also receive a Certificate of Excellence for his dedicated work as platoon sergeant for 2nd Platoon. The class advisor for 3rd Platoon, Staff Sergeant Matthew Barnes.
Good morning. First off, I'd like to thank one of my 1,000 AIs that we've had this cycle. So, Mr. Law, thank you for finishing the mission. Also, Mr. Dacus and Mr. Pleasance, thank you for what you've done. 3rd Platoon, I'm extremely proud of you. 23 in, 23 out. You didn't get there alone. You leaned on each other, and you accomplished the mission together. Over the last 5 weeks, we've learned a lot. We've taught you the foundation of recruiting. It is your time to take all of the foundation, all of the science, and craft your art. When it gets hard out there, and it will, mission will slap harder than Will Smith at the Oscars, and it's all right. Go back to the foundations and recraft your art. We'll get through it. Keep your recruiting as strong as your meme game, and you guys will all be Chief 54s. But I could talk about how great you are all day. But let's get down to the real reason we're here, and the famous words of Mr. Law.
Prepare
Sergeant Samari Matute. Sergeant Marcella McCabe. Sergeant Ryan McCormick. Staff Sergeant Stephen McCreary. Staff Sergeant Stephen McNally. Staff Sergeant Marco McQuero. Staff Sergeant Aaron Miller. Staff Sergeant Jed Miller. Staff Sergeant Maximilian Molina. Staff Specialist Jonathan Murphy. Sergeant Jared Myers. Staff Sergeant Tyler Needham. Sergeant Kendrick Norwood. Sergeant Cesar Nunez. Sergeant Stephen Orozco. Staff Sergeant Rosemill Ovalle. Sergeant Von Perrin. Specialist Mark Petz. Sergeant Andrea Rayburn. Sergeant Dane Remick. Sergeant Daniel Russo. Sergeant Christian Rubio. The platoon sergeant for 3rd Platoon, Staff Sergeant William Roberson, Minnesota National Guard. The class advisor, Staff Sergeant Roberson will receive a certificate of excellence for his dedicated work as platoon sergeant for 3rd Platoon. The class advisor for 4th Platoon, Staff Sergeant Ryan Hazlett.
Good morning, 4th Platoon. This is your fire chief speaking. I hope you guys have your grappling hooks. You're going to need them. I want to say thank you, everyone, for being here. 4th Platoon, thank you. You guys are an exceptional group of non-commissioned officers, and as I look at 1st, 2nd, 3rd Platoon, they're pretty good as well. As I've said this before in other speeches, and as we talk about this, you guys are the future of strength maintenance. And it makes me happy seeing that the future is in good hands. As we stand up here, we will not be here for much longer. We will PCS, we will go elsewhere. In your states, your leadership, they will retire, they will move on. Some of your coworkers, they'll drop Title 10 packets. I hope to see some of you guys on the Title 10 program one day. But bringing it back to the first thing you guys must accomplish, that is a successful tour as a recruiting and retention non-commissioned officer. The 3 missions that we have are 3 tenets: recruiting, retention, and attrition management. I hope you guys are successful in all 3 tenets. I hope your states utilize you to your fullest so that you can help retain the soldiers we already have, acquire the civilians that we find out in the real world, as well as the prior service guys and gals, get them in boots, and that as we see our RSP warriors go through the process, that we are able to keep them in that training pipeline and see them fully qualified to serve in our ranks. One more thing, kind of as a morale, 4th Platoon, you guys helped me develop, or you've helped me to develop. You guys have helped me develop in realizing that although we are near peers, as I've told you, some of you guys are far more exceptional NCOs than I can ever be. I have some role models to look up to in my own students, and we can't always say that. So I must say thank you to some of the NCOs in 4th Platoon. I have someone to look up to. And I hope for the ones who have role models and are looking for role models that I was one of them for you. And as always, if you need anything, you can always call. Prepare! Graduate!
Sergeant Curtis Rucky. Staff Sergeant James Ruddick. Staff Sergeant Dylan Sammons. Sergeant Rebecca Schruben. Sergeant Colby Seeley. Sergeant Alexander Shehade. Staff Sergeant Michael Simpson. Staff Sergeant James Stoneham. Sergeant Kevin Sullivan. Staff Sergeant Spencer Taylor. Staff Sergeant George Tietzel. Staff Sergeant James Thomas. Corporal Yvette Velasquez. Sergeant Corey Vatos. Sergeant Bryce Von Lanken. Sergeant Joseph Werner. Staff Sergeant Bryce Wiedemann. Staff Sergeant Kenneth Williamson. Sergeant First Class DeMonta Wright. Sergeant Devontae Wright. Specialist Kevin Yaxon. Staff Sergeant Joseph Yosef. The Platoon Sergeant for 4th Platoon, Staff Sergeant Naomi Williams, Virginia Army National Guard. Sergeant Williams will also receive a Certificate of Excellence for her dedicated work as Platoon Sergeant for 4th Platoon. At this time, the Chief Instructor for the Strength Maintenance Training Battalion, Sergeant Major Farrar, will recognize the Distinguished Honor Graduate. The Distinguished Honor Graduate is awarded to the soldier with the highest cumulative academic grade point average in the class. The Distinguished Honor Graduate for the Army National Guard Non-Career Recruiting and Retention NCO course, Class 22-004, is Staff Sergeant James R. Ruddick, Alabama Army National Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, these soldiers have spent countless hours over the past 5 weeks learning the skills and knowledge necessary to earn the Army National Guard Basic Recruiting and Retention Badge. Introduced in the mid-70s, the Army National Guard Recruiting and Retention Badge is the only special skills badge that has been established solely for the National Guard. Very appropriate, since the MOS 79 Tango Recruiting and Retention NCO is only for National Guard members. The design of the Army National Guard Recruiting and Retention Badge underwent a significant revision in 2007 after the Director of the Army National Guard requested a badge featuring symbolism and heraldic features that more accurately reflected the Army National Guard Recruiting and Retention mission. The current design was approved on May 12, 2008. These soldiers have dedicated themselves to the time to not only earn the Army National Guard Recruiting and Retention Badge, but to serve as the newest recruiting and retention NCOs across the nation. We will now conduct the pinning ceremony. You will have 5 minutes to conduct the pinning. think we're good. Please return to your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remain standing for the benediction and the exit of the official party. The benediction will be given by Sergeant Jordan LaFleur, 40 Washington Army National Guard.
Please bow your head and join me for the benediction. May the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen.
Class 22-004.